Alright, well, in today's video, we're going to show you how to pull out an old project and get it running after a long winter. A lot of times when cars tend to sit around for months at a time, they become repositories for all sorts of things. Mine has become a makeshift workbench. So first thing we have to do is clean it all off. I've got tools all over it, things for the Torino, and all sorts of things back here that I've cleaned out of other vehicles. So we need to clean off the car, get the hood open, and then get the battery on a charger. One of the problems I've been having is just sheer space. The car's over as far as it can be and stuff is falling in under it, so, and it's up against the air compressor and all that, so, but when we pull it out, we're going to have to make sure that this area is clear too. So we got to clean up all the way around it, and then it should come out easy peasy, but it's sitting on some flats, so we're going to have to get that fixed. But let's get the battery charger on it and see what happens. The inside of a car is a little bit of a mess, but I'm going to reach in here, do it old school, and break the door. Pull that up, and we'll get the hood up, just old school like. Where is it? It's under here somewhere. Yep, there it is. And there's the battery. It's an old school side post, so we'll have to deal with that. We got the battery charger on it now, but it's acting difficult, so let's see if we can't get this thing to work. Or do I have to go buy a new battery charger? I mean, a Montgomery Ward battery charger is supposed to last for the rest of my life. While that's happening, we're going to need to air up the tires, so I'm going to crank the air compressor on, and it's going to get pretty loud, so we'll get that filled up. And now that we've got the air compressor built up, we can air up this tire. For some reason, I think the wheel's cracked. I have a new set of wheels, and that set of wheels is going to get some tires here soon, and these are all going to get changed out. But for the time being, we'll air this one up and we'll push the car out. But it doesn't have to be up all the way. You just want to make sure you have enough air in there that it rolls freely and you don't break the bead if you have to turn a corner. So we'll get that done now. Now that we got the tire aired up, all we got to do now is we'll put it in neutral, put it in reverse, and we're going to just push it out because we don't want to try to start it yet. And I'll explain that to you here in a minute. But this is that 4,500 pound car, so that ought to be fun. So now I'll explain to you why I pushed it and tried to start it. Part of the reason was I just wanted to look at the ground underneath to make sure there wasn't any huge puddles. You can see it left its tracks like it always does, so we're good there. But that wasn't the only reason. The other reason was that I haven't started this car since last year, and I wanted to make sure that it's got enough oil in it, enough antifreeze in it, and it's going to turn over properly and nothing's stuck before I really just start hammering on it. So let's go over that. Well, check the antifreeze. I'm not too worried about this. Look down in there and it's rusty brown like usual, but it's good. So it could use a little, but it'll be all right for what we're doing. And then we come over here and check the oil. And we are really low. So let's put some oil in it. In instances like this, it's always tempting to use starting fluid. Don't do that. This is a completely dry engine. It hasn't been fired up for a while, and if you value your car, I wouldn't do it. This is a carbureted car, and it has never forgiven me for using starting fluid on it about 8 years ago. It still lets me know every now and then that it's displeased. So what we'll do is we'll give it a crank and just let the oil light go off. Just let it circulate a little bit, and we'll try it that way. And the battery's dead, so we'll let it charge. Okay, so we're going to give it another crank here. It's been a few minutes. And it's not happy with me still. I think I may have to change the battery. So we got it to crank over a little more, so we're gonna let the old Monkey Ward battery charger on it for probably another half hour, and then now that we've got the oil circulated, I will show you what we do next. One of the things you have to remember when a car's been sitting this long is that carburetor is most likely going to be completely dry. Now, I did get one up on it. I do not run ethanol in anything I own. This car hates ethanol. The performance on any kind of blended fuel sucks, and I can get pure gasoline here in town. So if you can do that, I recommend doing that on cars that sit for a while, because ethanol is good for about 60 to 90 days. The octane goes out of it and it starts varnishing up. But with this car, it didn't really hold a prime. It's got the accelerator pump is kind of getting weak, so we're going to have to fill up the fuel bowls and pour a little gas down the carburetor, get it to crank, and she'll fire up. But since it's been sitting that long, that's what we're going to have to do. But like I said, don't use any starting fluid, because it's just going to be too violent of a start on an engine that's dry. So let's do that. Okay, so we're under the hood with the gas can, and we're going to pour a little gas into this hole here and here, because that's where the fuel bowls are. So we'll fill it up there, and then we'll just, I've done this a few times, so don't freak out. It likes gas. So now we got enough gasoline in there. We'll give it a crank and see if she'll fire up. So here we go. So let's give it a crank. Pump. Now that we've got it fired up and going, we'll let it warm up a little bit, because the transmission has to warm up a little too, because the seals may be a little dry. You've got to get it circulated up again. And if I try to just take off the minute I get the thing fired up, that transmission's going to slip, slide, and might burn up a little. So give us some time, get the torque converter time to pump some fluid through it and what have you, and we'll take off in a minute. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and run this thing to the gas station, put some gas in it, and then we're gonna take it for a quick spin and see how she runs after sitting all winter. So let's head to the gas station. We got the new alcohol, and I love these old cars because they fill up right in the middle, so I can go by either pump. Makes fueling a little easier. We got a little gas in it now. Let's go for a drive. Part of why I don't drive this car a whole lot is it does need a lot of work. I've had the car for about 15, 16 years, and I've done a lot of maintenance on it, but it needs some front end work, and it's got a vibration. I did put a new transmission into it, but it does need, like I said, it needs some front end work. I think I have a ball joint that's starting to go a little bit, but it gets a vibration around 60 miles an hour, which I think is the transmission mount. But aside from that, it runs pretty good. I used to drive it 100 miles one way to work. I used to drive it from basically Wichita to Salina, and it did really well on gas as long as you kept your foot out of it. But it is one of my favorite cars. That's probably why I've kept it longer than I've kept anything. But it does need work, and I'm not sure what the plan with it is. I just really enjoy driving it. So we're going to put a new floorboard in probably this year, but aside from that, I can't tell you what the plan is unless somebody or a bunch of y'all really like it and say, hey, why don't you do something with that? I may do something with that eventually, but as you can see, it's really smooth. We're traveling 60 miles an hour and it's in land yacht mode. Just real smooth, real nice. It's a great ride car. So anyways, I hope you liked the video. That's all I had today. It was just how to pull out a car you haven't driven all year and get it going. I mean, you knew it ran when it parked. I mean, the one time in history you knew it ran when it parked. But I just wanted to show you it's pretty easy to get cars out. It's just patient, take your time, and you can have a lot of fun with it. So I appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next video.